This session is about prompt engineering, the practical skill of structuring AI inputs to get consistently useful outputs. This is not about hacking the models or finding clever tricks. It is about understanding why well-structured prompts produce better results and building that structure into how you work every day. Most people prompt AI the way they phrase a search engine query, a question, or a short instruction. The model responds by covering all the plausible interpretations of that query. The result is thorough, confident-sounding, and only partially relevant to what you actually needed. The editing overhead often erases the time savings. The first element is role. Assigning the AI a specific role, you're a senior financial analyst, or you're a copywriter specializing in B2B SaaS, shifts multiple things simultaneously: vocabulary, assumed knowledge, tone, level of detail. The role is not just a label. It activates a coherent cluster of behaviors in the model. Context is the background the model needs to give you a relevant answer. Without it, the model is reasoning from defaults. With it, the model can filter its response to your actual situation. Who you are, what you are trying to accomplish, what constraints you are operating under, and what has already happened. All of this shapes what a useful response looks like. The task element is where most prompts fail. Help me with my email is not a task. Write a 2-paragraph follow-up email to a prospect who attended a product demo last week and hasn't responded is a task. The more specific the task definition, the less the model has to guess, and the more directly useful the output is. Format tells the model how to present the output. A numbered list, a markdown table, a single paragraph, a structured JSON object, a bulleted summary, a formal report structure. Without a format instruction, the model chooses a format that seems appropriate, which may or may not match what you need. Specifying format eliminates the most common form of useful content in the wrong shape. Constraints eliminate what you don't want. Under 150 words. No jargon. No opening sentence that restates the question. No hedging language. Do not include a recommendation to seek professional advice. Each constraint is a time saver. It removes something you would otherwise edit out. A well-constrained prompt produces an output closer to ready to use. A complete prompt using all 5 elements. You are a senior marketing strategist role. I am a founder preparing a pitch to enterprise buyers in the legal sector. Context. Write an executive summary of our product's 3 main value propositions. Task. As 3 bullet points, each under 30 words. Format. Avoid jargon. Do not include a preamble. Constraints. That is a different prompt than write me a value proposition. Few-shot prompting is the technique of including examples in your prompt. If you have a specific output format you want replicated, a status update template, a particular tone, a structured report, showing 1 or 2 examples of that format in the prompt produces more accurate replication than trying to describe it abstractly. Few-shot prompting is especially valuable for recurring tasks. If you write a weekly status update in a specific format, a monthly report in a specific structure, or emails in a specific tone, build the prompt once with 2 or 3 examples of the ideal output. Save it, and reuse it. The upfront investment pays back immediately. Chain of thought prompting is the technique of asking the model to reason through a problem before producing a conclusion. The triggering phrases: think step by step, walk me through your reasoning before concluding, consider each option before making a recommendation. This technique consistently improves accuracy on complex reasoning tasks. Why does chain of thought work? Language models generate text probabilistically. When a model jumps directly to a conclusion, it produces a response that sounds confident but may have skipped important intermediate steps. When it works through the steps explicitly, each intermediate step constrains the next one. The final conclusion is more reliable because it was reached through a chain of valid reasoning rather than a single probabilistic leap. Iteration is the right strategy for prompt engineering. The goal is not to write a perfect prompt on the first attempt. A first output that is 60% useful is a starting point for a follow-up instruction. That's good, but cut the third point. Make the second more concrete with numbers, and remove the hedging in the last sentence. This is not a failure. It is prompting correctly. Knowing when to follow up versus when to re-prompt from scratch is a judgment call. If the first output has the right structure but the wrong content, follow up. If the first output missed the task entirely, re-prompt. Often with a more constrained and explicit version of the original prompt. The re-prompt should diagnose why the first prompt produced the wrong output, not just say the same thing louder. Reusable prompt templates are one of the highest leverage things you can build. For any task you do repeatedly with AI, content outlines, email drafts, data summaries, code reviews, status updates, build a prompt template that has your role, context, task, format, and constraints filled in with variables. Replace the variables each time. Your baseline quality of output for those tasks becomes consistently high. Organize your prompt library somewhere you can actually find them. A simple document or notes app with headers by task type is enough. The friction of having to recreate a good prompt from scratch defeats the purpose of having one. Store your best prompts, label them clearly, and review and update them as your workflow evolves. The 5-element structure transfers across AI platforms: ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Copilot. The models respond differently in terms of style and defaults, but all of them improve with role, context, task, format, and constraints. The vocabulary of prompting is platform agnostic. What does change between platforms? System prompt access, context window size, native tool integrations, and output length defaults. Knowing these differences helps you calibrate expectations. Some models handle very long documents better, some have better tool use, some are more conservative in their defaults. But the prompt structure fundamentals remain constant. This skill compounds. As AI becomes embedded in more professional workflows, the ability to direct AI precisely becomes more valuable. Every new AI integration in your email client, your spreadsheet tool, your project management software rewards people who can prompt well. The more AI is present in your workflow, the larger the advantage of being able to use it precisely. That is the practical framework for prompt engineering: role, context, task, format, constraints, plus few-shot examples for format replication and chain of thought for complex reasoning. The full guide with examples across multiple domains is at realsyllabus.com. The next session looks at practical AI tools for non-technical professionals, choosing the right tool for the right task.